Good morning. We're about to start. Okay. Now, I'm going to read this letter. This letter came to me right after I got kicked out of the HOA. They were watching me like a hawk. Uh, right here is what we're talking about, the second sentence or the second paragraph. It has come to our attention that you still have post and tie downs on one or more trees in your front yard. These mechanisms are installed to aid the tree during the first few years of growth. This time for most has passed. Please remove the tie downs and or post from your trees. Okay? We'll get out of this. And we're going to put up here stake tree. Okay. I made these two videos. This video was 45 minutes long. I'll spare you. It was on the it's part of the letter. I did a 47-minute video just on the letter. That video had a lot of history. Now I'm going to do the video on this is the first video. Okay? And I'm going to skip around with these videos.
YouTube land. I'm making this video. It's going to go into the HOA harassment file.
Okay, I've turned down the audio. But the first part of this video, and I'm going to skip around, is that was a broken window on the front of my house. It's been broken about 5 years or more. I didn't take the outer glass out for a while. I finally got rid of the outer glass. I had to go in and bust all that outer glass out. But this window was broken by a golfer one morning in a strong, like January, February morning, cold, dry, with a lot of wind coming out of the northeast. And it carried a ball. A young gentleman, a young group of golfers, 2 young men and 2 older men were the only people on the course when the window got broke. The lady brought me the ball immediately. I went out to the cart path and waited for this group to come through. Nobody in the group would admit that they broke this window. Now, I'll go out to the tree, but that window hasn't been replaced, and it's an $800 window, and I'm not going to replace it because tomorrow morning after replacing it and spending $800 on it, it could get broke again. Now this is the tree that they wrote up. I'll stop here. I bought that tree when it was only about down to here, 2.5 feet high. I put it in here. I put the watering to it. And for about 5 years it grew. It's an Arizona ash. It has a very small trunk, and the canopy up here, it's top heavy. It has to be supported. And I did that, but shortly after getting kicked out of the HOA, this tree had been here for 5 or 6 years up to that point. Never been written up. They inspect every week. They went by this tree every week for 5 or 6 years, and they never wrote it up. This is the first time after it got this high. Like I said, I planted it when it was only about this high. Now to move on, I want to show you, if I can, we might get to the point where I show you where there's a bird nest inside that tree. But what I did is, as soon as I got the letter, I pulled the stakes out and I removed the tree. If I can get to the other videos now, we'll get out of this one. Let's see. There's the broken window. I only have one pane in it. Like I said, it's $800 replacement. I haven't replaced it. I'm not going to. Over here, you'll see some of the work I did to put a gutter, a homemade gutter on here. I had, this goes along with the house being sunk 2.5 inches. This stoop over here where this column is, I used to get a lake there. Now, we'll move on from this. Stake tree. To this one. This is a long spiel that went with this video. This video is take a while to load. This video is 52 minutes long. Okay, I gave a lot of dialogue in this video. But
lawyer letter more or less told me don't have anything to do with the HOA. You're harassing them again. You're being combative again. You're being out.
all right, I gotta turn down the sound on this. All right, but I had probably 2 hours of dialogue explaining what I was about to do and why. I felt they were using this tree as a way to put letters in my file. It'd been there for over 5 years, never been written up. Right now you see where I've taken the post out. I spent quite a bit of time getting the post out. I put them in and I made sure that they were solid. So it took me a while to get them out. But this is me wrestling with that tree to get it out. And I will send along the entire videos to go with this video. But I swore to myself, you will never put another letter in my file about this tree ever again. If you walk through the neighborhood, all the trees in the neighborhood, many in parcel 12, are still staked. They still have support holding them up. And this tree, if I would have taken the stakes out and left it, it would have been broken on the next windstorm. Okay? And now, 9 July. But we'll move along here. There it is. I got it out. I'm holding it up to show Caroline. All right? There you go. I was disgusted, brokenhearted. I had nurtured that tree for about 5 or 6 years, only to have them come along and say, we don't like you. Get rid of the tree. get rid of the stakes. If I would have taken the stakes out, like I said, that tree would have been broke by Mother Nature. Now I'm going to go to another video. Let me see if I can pull it up. 12 July. Let's see if that gets us any videos. 12 July. 9 July 18. Let's put in 9 July 18. See if we can get that video up. There it is. Now, this is a windstorm that we had in July 18th. Okay, play. It was really blowing. 9 July 18. Now I want to go, I'm showing you just how bad the wind blows, but we're going to take a little walk and I'll show you what happens to trees here in the wind. Maybe somebody will see. You see that tree? That's tract A. If we would have had a flood, any kind of flooding during this period of time, that tree, let me go back. That tree right there is on tract A. Planted in the middle of tract A. Right there, Now, if we would have had a flood, the reason they have on the plat map that no trees or vegetation is supposed to grow inside of a drainage easement, this is a drainage easement. This is what happens to trees when you don't take care of them and maintain them. That tree got busted in half by the wind. All right? I just wanted to show it to you. There it is. And you're ordering me to put another tree in my front yard. I'm ordered to put another tree in my front yard after you wrote up the other tree. Now, I just wanted to show you this. This really happened. This was in 2018 during a strong windstorm. Now I'm going to go another one. I'm going to go to HOA tree problem. HOA tree. This is another video about trees and houses. This video right here shows this tree. That's where it was, and now the other tree that I ripped out was right here. Go real quick. But what I'm pointing out is this tree right here. This is for my neighbor, where it would pull a maple tree right out of it. And they hired him because the war was coming. Everybody knew there was... Okay, I gotta turn this off. Alright. This right here is what happens in a windstorm. We'll let it play out here, but this is what happened from this tree. I had that tree that you saw on the satellite was in my front yard. I had no input as to where it was going to be placed. This is what happens with trees and houses mixed. That tree, during a windstorm, it blew so hard. I think this is the windstorm that was in 2012. I think it was in September 2012. It was a huge windstorm that came. It ripped trees out of the ground throughout the neighborhood, busted them, ripped them out of the ground. But this was the aftermath, and I had to spend a lot of time and a little bit of money to repair this roof. And for you to order me to put trees next to my house where the trees can get blown over, busted, this is the result of it. I don't think much of the HOA's mandate that I have to put a tree in my yard. When I pulled that tree up and got rid of it, the tree, let's see, I guess I'm into a lot of speaking, but I went to the insurance company and they told me we can't do a thing for you. You got like $1,000 deductible. So I did this work all by myself. I was up on a ladder for about 3 days, gluing tile together. A lot of tile got busted. But this is what happens when you have trees that aren't maintained. And I was maintaining that tree. Okay? We'll get out of this. There's one other place I'd like to go. You see the tree? You see this green? That's from the tree. All right? And I trimmed that tree every year. I went out and trimmed it, but the wind blew so hard that the tree started hitting these tiles. And when the tiles got hit on the corner by the tree, it lifted them up and they got airborne. There was tiles all over my yard. All right? This is ridiculous that you're ordering me. And another thing, when I tore that tree out, I had to regrade my yard to make it drain completely. For you to order me to put another tree there, that means I have to tear up. My yard has been a patient. I had to tear my yard up because of leaks. I finally got my front yard on my house stabilized. We don't have any leaks. All right? It's a very fragile system. I haven't had the time to go through, and I've chosen not to replace the builder's special water lines that are cheap, half-inch plastic that has aneurysm. They can leak at any time. Like I said, I've finally gotten the front yard stable. I haven't got any severe leaks. For you to tell me to plant a tree there that you didn't want there in the first place, or you didn't like it staked. All right? Now I have to go in to, if I comply with your letter to put a tree now in my front yard, I have to go in and start tampering with all that irrigation lines again, and I could start another leak that will have my yard tore up. When you have a leak in your yard, the leak doesn't always show up, or the puddle doesn't show up where the leak is. Sometimes the puddle could be 10 feet away from where the leak is actually happened. You have to dig it all up. I'm asking for a little latitude in this. Please don't make me put a tree in my front yard and go through having to tear up the front yard to put in irrigation only to tamper with it. Like I said, I've spent 10 years, 8 or 10 years on my yards fixing the grading so that the grading would drain onto the golf course. And during that time, I had to tear up a lot of my irrigation. The backyard, all the irrigation that I paid for, the landscaping I paid for from Creative Environments in 2004 had to be torn up when I had to regrade the backyard to make it drain. Okay? But that's what I'm talking about is, please, give me a little latitude. Give me a pardon. Understand that I bought a lot that was out of compliance on purpose. They went downtown and lowered my finished floor elevation on purpose. I had a surveyor tell me that my lot was being used by the golf course to store water under my house. I diffused that booby trap, that landmine, that sabotage. I worked for 8 years. And now you want me to put a tree back where you had trouble with the original tree. I tore that tree out thinking that you'll never send me a letter about this tree again. And now I've gotten another letter. You got to put one back in. Well, if you make me put one back in, you might start years of water leaks that I finally, like I said, the front yard, and also the front yard, I've gone a custom job on the front yard. I did a custom job. All that front yard is covered with crushed stone that won't go through a 1/2-inch cister. It's large crushed stone. The pebbles and sands have been removed. Then I put landscape fabric down over the top of it. I did that about 5 or 6 years ago. I don't have weeds. I don't have to spray for weeds. So please, with all your wisdom in the HOA, please give me a little latitude here. Accept the fact that my house was encumbered when they lowered the finished floor elevation. It's got a forever lien against the title. Okay, the title has been corrupted. And I'm being encroached on by the golf course. But I'll stop here. And I'll send this video out.